Hello, this is DrPaulCottrell, and I'm recording this on September 26th. Now, last night, Mayor Adams was indicted for, we're not really sure what, because it was a sealed indictment, but people are speculating some sort of impropriety with campaign financing, maybe tied to other governments. We'll find out later today. So I'm going to cursory view some videos with you about this incident with Mayor Adams. Now, that came out last night. Now, last night, obviously, was September 25th. Now, I was saying that I was concerned several months ago, a few months ago, that I was concerned about September 24th, 2024. And then what I was sensing, just intuitively, I didn't have any scientific rationale for it, but it just intuitively, I sensed that September 24th was going to be a bad day. It had blue in it. It felt as though it was tied to the UN. And it felt as though it was, because of the UN is, in New York, so it was somewhat tied to New York. I felt radiological. It felt radiological, and it felt as though it was an inflection point. Now, my understanding is that this indictment was released to the public yesterday, all right, but sealed, and it's going to be unsealed today, which is the 26th. It's possible that his office was notified that this was going to happen on September 24th. I can't prove that unless someone says that in the media. But, I'm not sure. I don't know if this event with Mayor Adams was the thing that I was sensing. I give it maybe a small probability. It could be. But because, again, it's the things that I was sensing was blue, New York, UN feeling, radiological, an inflection point, but it didn't necessarily mean a chaotic. It didn't mean a kinetic event. It could have been a pernicious event that is sublime and very low key, and then it builds up and snowballs over time. Maybe this was what it is. I don't know. I don't think so. It's possible what I was sensing was what King Abdullah from Jordan said at the UN on the 24th at the General Assembly, positioning himself with the Palestinians. That might be it, and that this larger conflict will eventually bubble over into Jordan, maybe. So I wasn't able to really pinpoint in the news specifically September 24th and these little senses that I was getting. Maybe the Mayor Adams is tied to this sense of September 24th. Maybe what's going on with the General Assembly and the speeches about the war in the Middle East is tied to it. I just don't know. I can't definitively find it. Now, normally I can definitively find it. I can't find it on this one. So we'll see. I have some other theories, but that I need to really think about how I would articulate them. What potentially September 24th meant. Just to kind of, well, we'll see how this evolves with Mayor Adams. Is this a witch hunt because he's against the immigration sanctuary city policy by the Democratic Party, and he was pushing back on the Biden administration? Or is this a real thing? Is this a real issue with his campaign as mayor, with impropriety with election funds? Who knows? A lot of people have been resigning, so I suspect that there is something real about this indictment, not just a witch hunt. But we'll have to see. But Before we do that, because this is pretty big for New York, all right, I think there's only been 2 mayors that actually stepped down that have resigned. And he might be the 3rd, maybe, who knows? And there's this other issue that's coming up because Mayor Adams is potentially stepping down. Cuomo is coming into the picture again. So, you know, and that dynamic with how he handled COVID and some of the issues that have come up after he left office as governor. Governor Hochul can push out the mayor of New York City. So Governor Hochul of New York can push out the mayor of New York City. That sets in motion maybe a position for Cuomo if he wins the election. I'm not sure if he would win the election, but he would definitely have the most name recognition on the ballot. So this is pretty big for New York. What's going on here? I don't think that what I was sensing for September 24th is this event. But it might be, unfortunately, I can't pinpoint exactly. Something happened on September 24th that could have been behind the scenes that affects us all, or it happened, but it seems very benign, but over time there's a perniciousness and it builds up and snowballs. And it may be tied to what was said at the UN. That's my gut feeling, is that it has something to do with the UN and what was said there. But, I do my best. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the structural nano silver liquids. I have it in this advanced alkaline structured silver in a 35 ppm. I also have max 35 and max 14. You take a teaspoon a day, just swish it in your mouth, gargle about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and swallow. You neutralize pathogens and you maintain the mucosal barrier in your oral cavity and in the back of your throat. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Take a teaspoon of this a day, or the max 35 or 14. If you're not feeling well because of the cold season, take a tablespoon or 2 a day to help to clear the infection. All right. Because we are in cold season, it's really important the moment you have that irritation, let's say you went to work and you're starting to get some sort of irritation in your throat, you're coming back home from work and you have this irritation, you want to neutralize that right away. I have lozenges and drops. The drops I have in blueberry, cherry, and honey and lemon. Each of these bags comes with 100 drops in them. This will neutralize pathogens and also help to maintain that mucosal barrier. So the moment you have that irritation in your throat, start using the drops or the lozenges. It will neutralize the pathogen, and then those secretions, you're maintaining that mucosal barrier. That's really important, because if you have a weakened mucosal barrier, if it's thinner, or the epithelial lining is damaged or inflamed, your chances of getting sick are much higher. Okay, so it's really important to maintain a mucosal barrier. All right, we have an immune system. A part of that immune system is a barrier. Well, if your barrier is disrupted, you may get sick. So please go to my store and get the drops. I also have Manuka honey lozenges. So get a couple bags of these, right? Be prepared, because the moment you start having that irritation, you want to take the structural nano silver drops and lozenges to neutralize the pathogen and maintain that mucosal barrier. It works wonders, but the key is catching it early. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. I also have very high quality structural nano silver soaps. So I have it in honey and in lemongrass, and I also have it in charcoal tea tree, and I also have 3 other varieties on my store. So please get your soap from my store. They're very high quality, neutralizes pathogens. It's way better than Dove. go to the store and get the structural nano silver soaps. I have 5 different varieties. Get a couple bars for your household. Stock up a little bit. It's very high quality, so you don't have to worry about the quality aspect of it. Please go to my store and get the toothpaste. You can get a few tubes of the toothpaste for your household. This is very high quality toothpaste. Why? It doesn't have fluoride in it. Fluoride makes you stupid. All right, it does. So you want to filter out your water so you don't have fluoride and other toxins. But this structural nano silver toothpaste will neutralize pathogens, whiten your teeth, freshen your breath, maintain that gum line, because as we get older, our gum line recedes typically. So you want to reduce that inflammation and improve your gum line. So it'll improve your oral health on top of neutralizing pathogens. But in addition, because of the structural nano silver, it's neutralizing those pathogens and improving the oral health. And by doing that on a regular basis, you're reducing the chances of cardiovascular disease and valvular disease. Because when you have bad oral hygiene, bacteria can get in your bloodstream, cause inflammation on the inner lining of your blood vessels and cause disruption and potential plaque buildup. In addition, bacteria can vegetate, cause damage to the valve, and calcium deposits can start on these valves. So what happens over time when you get older, those valves can't work as properly. So there's regurgitation and other valvular issues that cause heart disease. All right. Some of those calcium plaques could break off and you end up having a stroke or, some other, cardiac event. So it's really important. Oral hygiene, especially when you get older, is important to maintain good cardiovascular health and valvular health. So please go to my store. This is a very high quality toothpaste. It's way better than anything that Colgate or Procter & Gamble creates. All right, this is very high quality. Get a few tubes of this, maintain good oral health, and try to promote good cardiovascular health. Go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Link is in the description of this video. Get a few tubes of this toothpaste. It's very high quality. So I've told you what to do to improve your health. And it's what I use every day. So please go to my store and get the products. All right, so let's jump into Fox News and what's going on with Mayor Adams.
There's a growing interest in socialism among young people in America.
Why?
What do they know about it?
All right, so we got that. Now we got, hold on, I got to set up my speaker here. Sorry. We're a professional operation. I don't know why, but every time I do this, I always have to do it twice.
Federal corruption charges. Details about those charges still under seal, but they could. New York City.
Okay, so this is Fox News talking about Mayor Adams' indictment.
We've got breaking news this morning. New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted on federal corruption charges. Details about those charges still under seal, but they could be made public as soon as this morning. Mayor Adams says he is innocent and will fight any charges against him.
I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics. If I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. Make no mistake, you elected me to lead this city. and lead it, I will.
Adams reportedly charged with, quote, acting as an unregistered foreign agent for taking actions in his official capacity after receiving donations from foreign sources. It comes nearly a year into the federal corruption probe, focused largely on whether Adams conspired. Last November, the FBI raided.
We're gonna read that off, but why isn't there a push by the government to go after Biden and all the problems with what was going on with the pay to play through Hunter Biden and these other foreign countries? You know, but they'll go after Mayor Adams. You know, this is why when you look at this, the question is, did he do something wrong? I don't know. But it's kind of suspicious that they go after him right when he decided to not toe the party line and go against the administration on immigration. All right, so this chart here, hopefully I can turn this on. So on September 2nd, I'm sorry, not this, on November 2nd, 2023, FBI agents searched the Brooklyn home of Segs, a top fundraiser for Mayor Eric Adams. FBI swarms home of a former Turkish Airlines executive who joined the mayor's transition team. Okay, November 6th, 2023, FBI seizes Mayor Adams' electronic devices, including iPad and cell phones. February 29th, 2024, FBI agents raid the home of Winnie Greco, one of Adams' top aides. July 2024, federal prosecutors serve Adams grand jury subpoenas. September 4th, 2024, FBI searches the homes of two of the mayor's closest aides. September 12th, 2024, NYPD commissioner resigns. September 14th, 2024, City Hall chief council resigns. So, you know, a lot of activity has been going on since November 2nd, 2023. All right. So let's just rewind a little bit here.
From foreign sources. It comes nearly a year into the federal corruption probe, focused largely on whether Adams conspired with the Turkish government to receive illegal campaign donations. Last November, the FBI raided the home of one of his top fundraisers. They also searched the property of another aide who is a former Turkish Airlines executive. A few days later, agents seized Adams' electronics, including his iPad and cell phone. And in February, FBI agents raided the home of another top aide. Then in July, Adams was subpoenaed by a grand jury as part of the corruption probe. Earlier this month, agents searched the home of two more of the mayor's closest aides. Since then, several key figures of his administration have resigned, including the police commissioner, the city hall chief counsel. New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is calling for Adams to resign. She did so hours before the indictment was reported. Joining now is former FBI assistant director, former FBI agent and attorney Chris Swecker. Chris, thanks very much for being here. Your reaction?
Morning. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising considering what's been happening around him for the last year or so. I mean, it's been no secret that there's a very extensive federal investigation with very overt search warrants, subpoenas, grand jury subpoenas flying in every direction.
Okay, so
Bloomberg, people around.
Bloomberg bringing up New York Mayor Eric Adams indicted on bribery and fraud charges. All right, so because
seemingly
it was sealed yesterday.
So we don't know what he's charged with, but it sounds like it had something to do with donations from Turkish government. But I could see the feds using the honest services wire, theft of honest services wire fraud statute, the Hobbs Act extortion statute, money laundering. There are any number of federal statutes that they can throw at him: tax violations, conspiracy, election laws, etc. So looks like he's facing some very serious charges here.
Well, it certainly appears that way. And look, I have no idea whether Mayor Adams is clean or not, but I have to ask the question, why now? Okay, because I'm sure these issues were known for many years, and suddenly now they're indicting him, and suddenly now all of his administration is collapsing after Mayor Adams started opening his mouth about the wide open border in New York and started saying he needs $1 billion to deal with this, and the wide open border is creating crime in the city. Ever since Mayor Adams started talking about all of these issues that New Yorkers are feeling every day, suddenly he becomes a target of this government, and I'm just wondering if there's more lawfare here.
Yeah, the timing is interesting, Maria, and you would think, given the policies of the Department of Justice concerning elections, that they would not take this action immediately before an election, because, as you say, he's been very vocal. He's been a bit of a hot mess when it comes to the immigration issue, with New York being a sanctuary city, yet they don't seem to want any immigrants. But he has railed at the federal government about it, and he's put a spotlight on it. And you just wonder, I mean, it would not be unprecedented in this Justice Department.
Yeah, I'm also wondering where the DOJ is on Joe Biden, okay? Because
Yeah,
James
exactly.
Comer, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, has been telling us now for 3 years that Joe Biden accepted millions, tens of millions of dollars from adversaries, including China. Will the DOJ have this kind of treatment on Joe Biden the way it's had on Mayor Adams? I don't know. What do you think, Jonathan Fay? You jump in here.
I don't think they will, but it's really interesting how in the investigations of Hunter Biden, they really seem to isolate off anything to deal with Joe Biden and didn't go out of their way.
Okay,
to
I'm
ask
gonna
any
go
questions
to Bloomberg's live feed on this issue.
Learning, among other things, the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, she has the right, after he makes some defense, to just essentially fire the mayor. In that case, the public advocate of the city of New York would take over the mayor's office, running the day-to-day duties of the city.
I
and
suspect
then
that's what she's going to
would
do.
have to set a
He's not
special
going to get
election
due process.
replace
He's going to be
that.
pushed out.
And remember, this is just sort of one part of a huge investigation that became public when FBI agents raided the home of an Adams campaign fundraiser. But that happened last November. The probes accelerated in recent weeks and prompted the mayor's chief counsel and police commissioner to quit this month. In the meantime, 2 former fire department officials were charged with bribery. That is quite a spider web to have to unravel.
It shouldn't necessarily come as a big surprise. You'll recall that federal agents, they seized his electronic devices. That was, it'll be a year ago, coming November.
Mhm.
We didn't know exactly what the investigation surrounded at that time, but it appeared to involve the government of Turkey and some strong donations. At least that's the allegation with respect to the campaign.
Yeah, certainly going to be unprecedented times here. Alex, you live in the city. I live in New Jersey, so this is not quite
Brooklyn,
my
baby.
backyard, but
Yeah, I used to live like 2 blocks from de Blasio. I lived 2 blocks from Schumer, actually. I used to, when he is here. Anyway, in defense, Adams' lawyer is Alex Spiro. He lashed out at these federal agents, said they searched the mayor's official residence hours before those charges were announced. He said the federal agents appeared this morning at Gracie Mansion in an effort to create a spectacle again and take Mayor Adams' phone again. So obviously sort of trying to weigh that down in essence. But we do know that the indictment has now been made public. It's been unsealed, I should say. And present New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted on bribery and fraud charges. Really stunning video and pictures capturing this moment earlier this morning. David Gura is joining us here as Bloomberg Big Take host. He's also been covering this all morning with Tom Keene in studio. David, do we have any specifics on these bribery and fraud charges now?
No, not yet. And I think we'll get more here in the next few minutes. But you mentioned those photos and video that we saw this morning, and it was pretty dramatic. The Times breaking the story last night and then breaking the story this morning that over the course of the evening, there were agents who had gathered at Gracie Mansion and had gone in to search the premises, and just the extraordinariness of that shouldn't go without saying. So we know that they were there for many hours this morning. We'll see sort of what's in this indictment. I did note that Alex Spiro is representing the mayor. He, of course, represented Elon Musk in the Twitter matter, so he's kind of made a name for himself. He have quit Emanuel as a big defense attorney, one of the largest now on the scene. So it's clear that the mayor is taking this seriously. He said in that statement last night, that brief video statement from City Hall, that he intends to fight this. So from the Gracie Mansion, rather, that he intends to fight this. And so we'll see sort of how that shakes out here, I think, in the next few hours.
We're being told 5 counts, including wire fraud and bribery. My question to you, can the city of New York continue to function effectively with the mayor fighting charges and devoting, I would guess, much of
May
his
function
time
better.
to this?
Well, there are plenty of people who are skeptical of that. Chief among them, I think, the Democrats who are vying for the nomination, the primary coming up here for the next election. But what was interesting in that statement last night, I think, is
This is Cuomo coming
how
back.
he was that he would be able to
This
do it
I'll tell you,
because he's been fighting these charges or the specter of these charges.
this is the big move for Cuomo to reboot his political career. And it's happening right now by taking down Adams.
His mayoralty. So that's kind of the argument that he's making, that these are ginned up and unfair. He's had to battle them, maybe not since day one, but shortly thereafter. He's adamant he's going to be able to do it. But I think that what we're going to be looking for today is some sense from other Democrats in particular of their appetite for that. We got a very short statement from the press secretary to Governor Kathy Hochul last night. Not a ringing endorsement and not a direct endorsement from her. We haven't heard from Hakeem Jeffries, another Brooklynite, like the mayor himself, who's the ranking member in the House. Certainly, if we start to see an erosion of support in people like that, I think that would indicate that there's more wider skepticism.
Can we read some parts of the indictment here? Number one, illegal campaign contributions. The mayor sought and accepted illegal campaign contributions in the form of nominee or straw contributions. Among the allegations, the indictment goes on to allege the contributions helped Adams evade federal laws preventing foreign influence on U.S. elections. It continues defrauding New York City, improper personal benefits, a bribery and favorable treatment, concealment and false reporting, and it continues. It's a long indictment, and those are some of the major charges.
Yeah, speaking of continues, it goes to foreign national contributions as well, and travel hospitality benefits, and also some pressure on the FDNY. Just going back to that bribery and favorable treatment, in the indictment, it says that Adams provided favorable treatment in exchange for benefits like pressuring the FDNY to approve the opening of a new Turkish consular building without a proper fire inspection, which would have otherwise failed. That was sort of trickling out in reporting over the last 24 hours as well. In terms of false reporting, Adams concealed his activities by not reporting the luxury benefits on financial disclosure forms and creating fake paper trails to suggest he had paid for travel and other benefits. So quite interesting. David Gurrow, what are you going to be focused on and watching over the next 24 hours?
Well, as John mentioned, it's a long indictment, so I'm going to dig into that. And as you said, Alex, this kind of is in keeping with what we thought might be the circumstances surrounding this. I mean, there's been a swirl of scandal and allegations surrounding the administration, and this is one investigation of many, but this involving the relationship between him and Turkey, the administration in Turkey, is one that's garnered a lot of attention, really dating back months now. There was this kind of extraordinary moment when one of his advisors, a chief fundraiser, had her phones and electronic devices seized, and then really in broad daylight on the streets of Greenwich Village, the mayor's electronic devices were seized as well. So I don't want to say that this was expected, but I don't think it was entirely unexpected what we're seeing here today. And I think that, as you said rightly, the broad contours of this story are pretty well known. The mayor has made several trips to Turkey. So I think what we're seeing in that indictment is more color and more
Why would Turkey get involved in
on the illegality that the government says was conducted on those trips and in relationship with that country. I should say it's just an astonishing moment for this to be happening, of course, with the UN General Assembly, leader of Turkey here in New York as this is unfolding. So really kind of a wild set of circumstances happening at once.
Presumably, he's in court at some point today. Will what enter a plea before the judge?
Yeah, he's been summoned to go to court. That's on Pearl Street in Lower Manhattan. And then we know that David Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, is scheduled to hold a press conference at 11:30 this morning, Wall Street time.
You know,
we'll get any more detail.
It's possible that what I was sensing for September 24th is this, and that internally, the Justice Department decided to, okay, let's do the indictment on the 24th, and then they file it on the 25th. Maybe that's what I was sensing. I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with Mayor Adams. This is pretty big, though, for New York. All right. And this opens up a larger issue with what's going on with other countries, influencing, other countries influence the Clintons. Other countries influenced the Bidens. So why didn't the Justice Department go after them? Why is it Mayor Adams? Why was it, why do they go after their political opponents? Is this lawfare? Did he really do something wrong? Maybe not. He needs his day in court first before, everyone tries to, say that he's guilty. This is a move to get Cuomo in.
Indictment, more detail on the case itself and some sense of what the timeline, what the timetable might be for this going forward.
All right, David, we gotta let you go there. You got other stuff to do now. David Gura, thank you so much for joining us. He is Bloomberg Big Take host. Thank you very much. Again, New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted on bribery and fraud charges following a federal corruption investigation. That indictment unsealed. We're looking at about 9 counts, ranging from illegal campaign contributions as well as defrauding New York City. I just want to also update you on some other breaking news. This comes from the Wall Street Journal. The Justice Department is now probing Supermicro Computer. That stock is now down about 5%. It also triggered a halt in trading shares. There is a probe into
Uncover the opportunities at the heart of the tech revolution at Crossroads Summit. This is where visionaries gather to turn chaos into clarity.
This comes from the Wall Street Journal. Supermicro shares dropping as well. All right, going back to the drama surrounding New York City Mayor Eric Adams, again indicted on bribery and fraud charges. The indictment now unsealed. Let's unpack this a little bit more. Naha Katan is Bloomberg national reporter and joins us. So you're looking at, if I just go through real quick, 9 counts, anywhere from pressure on the FDNY, false certification, defrauding New York City. You can think it, you can name it. Put this in the broader national context for us.
Sure. Well, the other thing is that this apparently goes back almost 10 years, where he was flying to different countries, and it's not just a one-time deal. It also, it's historic. It's the first indicted mayor in the history of New York City since its incorporation in 1898. According to historians, and
the first serving mayor.
Yes.
In office, yeah.
That's right. Since the incorporation of all 5 boroughs. The second Black mayor in 400 years of New York City history. So this is very big. As you all said, not totally unexpected, but still very surprising.
Yeah, and they range. So I'm just looking again.
New York City's
Alex,
public
you've been on
matching
it.
funds
Defrauding
program.
New York City, he used illegal contributions to defraud New York City's public matching funds program, obtaining more than $10 million in public funds for his 2021 campaign, improper personal benefits, traveling to Turkey, bribery, and favorable treatment. Naha, are there charges that stand out as kind of unexpected or more notable?
Well, we all had heard about the Turkish connections and, possibly using the FDNY to help allegedly build, a building that didn't have all the safety standards. I think just how long it's been going on, or how long they've been looking into it, that is surprising.
So since it goes back that far, it doesn't necessarily have to do with campaign financing.
I think these are things we still need to understand a little better.
Yeah. All right, let's get you recapped on that news. So the latest, New York City Mayor Eric Adams was indicted on bribery and fraud charges following a federal corruption investigation. This calls into future the question of a man in charge of running the biggest U.S. city. That indictment has now been unsealed. Let's go through some of the things here. 1, illegal campaign contributions. The accusation is that he accepted illegal campaign contributions in the form of nominee or straw contributions. You're also looking at defrauding New York City. Adams using the illegal contributions to defraud New York City's public matching funds program. We're also looking at improper personal benefits, bribery, and favorable treatment, and this relates to a new Turkish consular building. Also concealment and false reporting. We're also looking at foreign national contributions, travel and hospitality benefits, and false certifications. It is quite a list. This was reported last night. We have now gotten all the details as of this morning. The indictment of Adams is truly a remarkable turn for a former police captain who beat and won in 2021, running on a law and order platform. Now, when you're a Bloomberg national reporter, right? we're looking at a national election that is already so polarized. Can you just put that into context for us in terms of where this might leave us?
Well, I think, it's a Democrat mayor, a Democratic mayor. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion about, indictments on the Republican side. And so I think, this could be used by Republican candidates to sort of finger point, on the question of law and order in a national race that's become, very polarized, obviously, and also where the question of legality has become a major issue.
Have we heard from Governor Kathy Hochul's office with respect to this? Because my understanding is, as governor, she has the ability to fire any mayor in the state of New York under her purview, essentially.
Right. As of earlier this morning, we hadn't had anything from her. Apparently, his lawyer, Adam's lawyer, has already said, this is
Come
just
on, get it
an attack
out.
against the mayor. We'll see also whether he chooses to resign or chooses to fight. Obviously, that's a big question.
We put this question earlier to David, but in terms of running a city as complex as the New York city and the 5 boroughs of New York, can somebody who's under indictment fighting charges like these effectively govern?
Well, he's seen so many vacancies, resignations over the last just few weeks, from the commissioner to the chancellor, the school's chancellor. So there is a lot of question, and
I can't take
Ocasio
her
Cortez
saying,
yesterday, the congresswoman said that he should resign just on the vacancies alone. This was before the indictment. So there is a big question: what happens with the largest city, and how do permits get filed, and all of these things that have to happen.
How do streets get paved?
Mhm,
Like 57th Street?
Yeah, well, this is personal for you on that point, John Tucker's tires get upset. It's not a pretty thing. All right, now Cotton, thank you very much, Bloomberg National reporter, joining us. All right, let's recap it once more, people. We got New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the
indicted
Hill
on
now.
Broad-
They're doing a live broadcast on
a
this.
qualified administration. For the good of the city, he should resign. But House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries defended Mayor Adams yesterday morning. Let's watch.
As far as I can tell, Eric Adams is working as hard as he can to be the best mayor possible and meet the needs of the residents of New York City. We need Eric Adams to be successful as mayor because he is the mayor at this moment in time. And the congressional delegation is going to continue to work as hard as we can to help Mayor Adams successfully lead the people of New York City and Governor Hochul successfully lead the people of New York City.
There was also plenty of online reaction. Popular Democratic Gen Z influencer Harry Sisson tweeted, quote, "He should resign immediately. See, Republicans, we don't stand with those who have been indicted or call it a witch hunt. Not hard."
Meghan McCain tweeted, quote, "This is some Gotham City Batman plotline shit." See, McCain's point for the plot has definitely changed since Mayor Adams once called himself the future of the Democratic Party. What
That's
future?
hilarious.
Just watch.
I know retrospectively I'm gonna be appreciated.
Go ahead.
Too. I'm not gonna do that now. People always crap on us when we in the ring. But when my gloves are hung up,
I want to rewind.
Definitely changed since Mayor Adams once called himself the future of the Democratic Party. What future? Just watch.
I know retrospectively I'm gonna be appreciated as a mayor that lived up to what I said I was going to do. I'm not gonna do that now. People always crap on us when we in the ring. But when my gloves are hung up, people gonna look at, listen, that was an authentic, bald-headed, earring wearing brother that did his thing as the mayor of the city of New York. The most important city on the globe is being run by a person who was dyslexic, arrested, rejected. Now I'm elected to be the mayor of the city. Well, there you have it.
Charlemagne the God reacted to the latest on Adams this morning. The Breakfast Club host said he's innocent until proven guilty, but Charlemagne also wondered if race has anything to do with this. Let's watch.
I also will say when Mayor Adams was here last time, he said that, and this is his words, he said that there's an attack on Black mayors all across the country. When I look at him getting indicted, when I look at Marty Smallville, Atlantic City getting indicted, I can't help but wonder if there is something to that. I'm just saying.
Adams is expected to surrender next week, according to the New York Post. I don't think it's necessarily a racial thing. Obviously, Menendez
I'm gonna
has also faced.
just do a plug because this is PNN and I'm a professional news network, right? But please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. The world is going up in flames. It's getting really hot in New York because of everything that's going on with Mayor Adams and the UN. So please go to my store and get the deodorants that I offer. All right. All kidding aside, these are very high quality deodorants that are made from essential oils from the Himalayas. It has no aluminum, no baking soda in it. All right. These essential oils from the Himalayas help to detoxify your body, but also they've been formulated in a way where it's a great deodorant. I have it in citrus and I also have it in peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. All right. I prefer the citrus, but it's up to you. You know, in America, we have freedom of choice, citrus or peppermint, lavender, and tea tree, or you can have both because that's the way America is. It's for males and females. It's a very high quality deodorant that is made from Rainbow Herbals. I partnered up with Rainbow Herbals and we developed these deodorant bars and they're very high quality. So please go to my store, get a couple bars for your household. It's for males and females and it's a dual purpose product. You use it as a deodorant and it'll help to detoxify your body on a daily basis. So please go to my store and get the citrus or the peppermint, lavender, and tea tree, or both. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. It's really important to take vitamin C to boost up your immune system. This also has magnesium that helps to boost up your immune system. We're in the cold season in the United States. It's important to boost up your immune system. Are you getting the hint? Boost up your immune system. In addition, vitamin C helps with your skin health. You should be taking it every day. If you're not feeling well, take a double dose. Make sure you drink it with filtered water. Vitamin D3. It's a gene expression cofactor, so you get proper cellular processes in your cell. If your cells are infected by a pathogen that shuts down the apoptosis pathway, vitamin D3 helps to reactivate the apoptosis pathway so the cell dies. That's why taking vitamin D3 is so important when you're sick. In addition, taking vitamin D3 will help to bring in calcium. So please take my advice, take this every day. I take 2 soft gels a day. I take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. So please go to my store and get the vitamin D3. It's very important to take every day. I'm sure Mayor Adams isn't sleeping well now. Don't be Mayor Adams. Make sure that you get proper sleep. If you're having problems sleeping, get the good night formula. All right. This has melatonin and tryptophan in it. You should be taking this if you are not sleeping well. All right. This is something that will get you into 3 cycles of REM sleep. It'll get you into that deep sleep. So when you wake up, you're well rested, you've detoxified your body. There's a lot of detoxification naturally is taking place when you're sleeping, especially the central nervous system. And you're going to be able to consolidate memory. If you're chronically deprived of good sleep, if you're chronically sleep deprived, you may develop early onset of dementia when you get older. Why? Well, you're not consolidating memory. You have a higher stress hormones that are produced when you stay up late. It affects your glucose levels. It affects your cortisol levels. You're not consolidating memory and you're building up toxins. So you don't want to do that. Get proper sleep. Proper sleep will slow down the aging process and help boost up your immune system and detoxify your body, consolidate memory. So please go to my store, get the Good Night Formula, take it if you're not sleeping well. It's really important. Again, it's the-studio-reykjavik.com. And I'm sure that Mayor Adams is gonna need to take good night fund though.
Corruption charges. It's a shame that more corrupt political figures are not investigated, but Eric Adams is accused of some pretty brazen stuff. Basically being an unregistered foreign agent, receiving all these boons, these gifts from the Turks and others. And so this is very bad. And of course, he's entitled to due process and the presumption of innocence. But I don't know. Nobody.
What about Hunter Biden? What about Joe Biden? What about Jill Biden? What about the Clintons? Let's not investigate them.
Surprised about any of them coming to a head like this.
No, I don't think anybody is all that shocked because, of course, the investigation into Turkey and the suggestion appears to be the solicitation of illegal campaign donations to Adams's mayoral campaign when he won in 2021, of course. So that's the argument. I do always find it a little tricky when politicians always take refuge, if they are indicted or charged, in this idea that, well, they're coming after me because I'm for the people.
Yes. They're really after you. I'm just in the way. That whole Trump line.
Exactly.
They're after you.
Let's see what the evidence says about that. As you say, entitled to the presumption of innocence, but there's the Turkey investigation. There's a separate.
First of all, it is a known fact that the DOJ is weaponized. It is a known fact the FBI has been weaponized against political individuals. All right. To say that the FBI and the DOJ hasn't been weaponized against Trump, I mean, come on, you're not paying attention. You know, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's, you know, it's so obvious that it's been weaponized.
Apparently into the police commissioner, who has a twin brother, and they have some dealings with nightclubs that are being looked at. There's a third issue about a consulting business. So it's not as if, frankly, this mayoral administration, nobody could mistake it for being squeaky clean so far. We'll see where the case leads, but yeah, it's not a huge surprise.
Well, the city's knight in shining armor may be arriving. That is, of course, Andrew Cuomo, who I'm seeing some reports, including one from
See, it's a Cuomo move.
Running.
Yeah.
Mayor of New York City.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this was planned.
I'm shocked if he ran. He has been interested in a return to the political front line for a long time. Well, the voters are interested in that is another matter, of course.
You poor New Yorkers. I thought we have it bad here in Washington, D.C. We had in D.C. recently a member of council arrested for some really low-level and basic corruption charges. There was a violence, a nonprofit organization that helps to steer at-risk youth out of violence, and they were just handing him wads of cash in order to award the city's contracts to that organization. He was arrested in my building. I didn't know.
Interesting. Representative of Ward 8, which is the poorest ward in DC, for people that are less familiar with the internal geography of Washington. In that instance,
another black man, so maybe Charlemagne the God is going to draw some links there.
In that instance, the council member was on surveillance camera accepting money. I think he's also pleading innocence. He's entitled to the presumption of innocence too, but the evidence certainly appeared pretty damning in that respect.
Well, we will continue to follow this with a lot of attention.
Okay, so it looks like Mayor Adams is addressing the public here
today, but there are expected to be more people who are involved in the scheme. You saw them laid out here. Will those people also be charged in connection with what happened here? The people who are lining up outside of Gracie Mansion right now are a coalition of people who have been Eric Adams supporters for decades. That's Herb Daughtry, who is Eric Adams' number one. That's basically his mentor, and of course Hazel Duke. So
let's listen to the
let me just
mayor.
interrupt you. Eric Adams, the mayor, speaking right now.
So it sounds
I
like
should point out
there's
that Mayor Eric Adams is set to speak right now. He is listening to the crowd. currently, which is why
Sounds like there's
you,
someone
heard that
saying negative
pause,
things about
in any sort of
the mayor
amplification. He looks to
in the
just be
crowd.
setting up technically before he speaks. This is the first time that will have spoken since the indictment. The indictment was unsealed just about an hour ago. News breaking overnight that Eric Adams, New York City mayor, has been indicted against bribery and fraud charges. The list is quite long in terms of illegal campaign contributions as well as defrauding New York City. Let's go ahead and listen in. Nope, we're not good. Not yet. Now we're gonna go in and listen to Mayor Eric Adams.
Supporters of all ethnic groups that I hear, particularly the men and women of the clergy that's here, that have joined me here today. And we are not surprised. We expected this. This is not surprising to us at all. The actions that have unfolded over the last 10 months, the leaks, the commentary, the demonizing, this did not surprise us that we reached this day. And I ask New Yorkers to wait to hear our defense before making any judgments. In about 30 minutes, we're going to hear a story of the case that is in front of us. The story will come from the federal prosecutors. And I ask to wait and hear our side to this narrative. From here, my attorneys will take care of the case so I can take care of the city. My day-to-day will not change. I will continue to do the job for 8.3 million New Yorkers that I was elected to do.
Amen.
And the 300,000 plus employees of our city government will continue to do their jobs, because this is what we do as New Yorkers. It's an insult to the hardworking people of the city that anyone would say that they won't do their jobs while this case proceeds in the background. They are dedicated public servants, and I have been one of them for many years. And they're going to continue to do their job, moving the city forward every day. It's an unfortunate day, and it's a painful day. But inside of all of that, it's a day when we will finally reveal why for 10 months I have gone through.
All right, we are listening to Eric Adams addressing the press for the first time since the news of his indictment broke. We are experiencing some audio issues, however. We will bring that to you more live. He just finished speaking, and now it looks like some of his supporters behind him are also going to take the podium to speak as well. Just to remind everybody, New York City.
I'm just going to plug, because he just finished. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Gotham is under attack by the DOJ. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and buy the probiotics. Why? Because as you're watching the news, you're going to get inflamed. You're going to have digestive issues. You want to have a better gut biome as you watch Gotham go up in flames. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. I have two types of probiotic. I have a powdered version, and I also have a VeggieCap version. All right. I usually take the powdered version because I just mix it with my hummus in the afternoon. That's how I take it. You just mix it with your food or with water, and take it on a daily basis. Or you can take the VeggieCaps. It's up to you. Some people prefer the VeggieCaps, but it's really important to take probiotics every day. Why? Because what happens is that with a good gut biome, you're reducing the inflammation in your gut, and you're reducing that lining of the gut from getting diseased. All right. When you keep that inflammation reduced, then the crypt area of the gut that helps to repopulate the cells, it has a better environment to be healthy. when it is chronically inflamed, it's very possible that cells become mutated and turn cancerous. All right. In addition, with inflammation of the gut, the lining, the mucosal lining of the gut, and the concentration of IgAs, antibodies, goes down. That means that pathogens can come in and perturb the cells in that inner lining of the gut, of your intestinal tract, and cause mutations of those cells and then lead to cancers. So by bringing down the inflammation, you're reducing cancer prevalence. In addition, having a good gut biome will allow you to digest your food better. So you're going to be able to absorb your nutrients better. And you're going to be able to metabolize and have the compounds that you need for a better communication between your gut and your liver. Also between your gut and your brain. Brain acuity, mental acuity, energy levels, and mood are all going to improve when you have a good gut biome. So it's really important. A lot of diseases start with the gut. So if you can help your gut be healthy by eating properly, filtering your water, staying away from processed foods and sugary foods, detoxifying your body, and taking good probiotics, like I have on my store, then what's going to happen is you're going to be improving your overall health. You'll also notice that your skin and your nails and your hair are going to improve. Because you can see that when people have problems with their skin and their nails, that it may be a sign of poor gut health. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the probiotics that I have, the veggie cap version or the powdered version. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com.
Celebrate. This is a sad moment, and I do believe that Eric Adams has the right to defend himself. I'm glad he's out there talking about that. My overriding concern is
such a
how
stupid
are we
phrase.
going to help
That's such a stupid phrase. He believes. It doesn't matter what he believes. It's his constitutional right. Some people just don't speak. I mean, it's just so idiotic, especially these talking heads.
And that's going to be a very difficult challenge, I think.
Well, not even that, Scott, but even those that are still in charge of stuff, like how do they even know the direction of and how to run the local government and even how to execute a vision or their jobs?
Respectfully, I think this is going to be very tough. You have a lot of people in City Hall who are under federal investigation. Phones have been seized. It's very hard to run a government under this kind of scrutiny. And the indictment has laid out some very serious charges. The mayor has to obviously defend himself, and he should, he must. But I also think that we have to start thinking about how we're going to move this government. We talk about, this is the center of the universe. New York City is the center of commerce. New York City is really leads the country in so many different ways. We need a government that is laser focused to keep the city afloat. And then we have people, the underbelly of the city. We have people suffering, living in the streets. People are homeless. Crime is up. Housing's not getting built. When I was exploring running for mayor back in January, it really wasn't about these investigations. It was about the city not doing what it needed to do governmentally to meet the needs of our people. That now becomes exasperated because we have nobody who can be laser focused on delivering for the people of the city and for the business community and for our children, our babies, who we are charged with the responsibility of raising as a village.
Scott, so your team comes to work, gets started, and disappears into 100 apps, each with their own greedy little text boxes. Except Pam, because Pam
will fall to Brad Lander, who is also running for mayor. Tell me what you know a lot about the city charter. What do you know about how this works? I mean, the mayor, of course, gets to appoint somebody who will be on his behalf. Do you think that we'll see the mayor resign? And if not, do you think there'll be a push
I don't
for
think he's
him
gonna resign.
to
He's gonna
step
push
down
it.
from the governor or from this inability committee?
Well, first of all, this inability committee was probably put together not thinking that it would be possibly used for this situation. I don't think this committee will ever convene. I think this will be resolved much earlier than that. I do think the mayor's going to have to make some decisions as to whether he can govern, and that'll become apparent in the next 48 hours or 72 hours, and we'll go from there. But I don't think that we're going to get to, a disability trial. I just don't think that's in the best interest of the city.
Just to be clear, Scott, you think Mayor Adams should resign immediately?
I think that
Of course he does. He wants to be mayor.
indictment and possibly more coming. I think it's very hard for him to govern. I am not making a judgment on innocence or guilt, but I am making a judgment as to what's the best for the city. The mayor has to focus on the mayor, but government, elected officials have to focus on the city at large. And I think it's going to be very difficult. Look, I was controller for 8 years. I audited every city agency. I saw the best and the brightest city government. It's a tough job to be mayor. And, I think that, for a couple of years, we sort of let the mayor and his staff.
That's an oxymoron, the best and the brightest in government in New York. Yeah, right.
Was every day, 365 days a year. And it started almost at the beginning because mayors need a counterweight. I'm not sure that existed over the last couple of years. And maybe it's a lesson to everybody is accountable somewhat, because these contracts were flowing. This was going on. And sometimes you just got to blow the whistle and say enough is enough before federal investigators get involved.
Let's just update everybody here. If you're just joining us, I'm Alex Steele alongside Jen Tucker, Billy Lipschultz, and Miles Miller. The latest news is that New York City Mayor Eric Adams is indicted on bribery and fraud charges. The indictment was unsealed about an hour ago. New York City Mayor has also been having a press conference outside of Gracie Mansion. Some of the headlines here, he said that my day-to-day will not change. He says he will continue to serve as mayor of New York City, and he looks forward to defending himself. He does say that we were expecting this and not surprised at all. He is backed by many of his supporters outside of Gracie Mansion. We'll continue to bring you all these headlines as they cross. We're currently in conversation with Scott Stringer, former New York City comptroller, joining us there. When you're looking at how far this spider web goes, Scott, if we're going right to Eric Adams now, after a lot of time being spent on working on this investigation, is that it? Like, does the buck stop here with him, or are there going to be more arrests or more accusations and more charges filed?
Look, I don't have a crystal ball, and there's a part of me that wants it sort of to end here so we can get back to meeting the needs of the people of the city. But it's very likely that this is going to continue, and these investigations in separate ways are going to continue to come forward. And so we have to see. And again, I mean, this is some. None of these allegations have been proven. The mayor has and should have the right to defend himself. We have to balance that with the needs of New Yorkers, because this is a very complicated city, as we talked about. So I think we do have to have a wait and see. The balance between piling on and giving him space and time to absorb what's happening. So I think this will all play out the next couple of days. As Miles knows, the rough and tumble of New York City politics will certainly play a role here. But I do think there has to be some space and some respect shown as well.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think this puts your standing in your race for mayor? You've got a number of people, including yourself, who basically are alarmed by what's happened here. And we've heard from Jessica Ramos. We've heard from Zellner Myrie. Where do you think this puts the race?
Look, I was considering still exploring a race for mayor before all of this, because I'm not happy with city government. I'm not happy with the progress or the city's making. The city of yes has long been a city of no. I ride the subways. My kids are in public school. I see this every day, and I felt that I couldn't sit on the sidelines and watch our city, plummet the way it did in the 70s and 80s. So I was in this race exploring it before any of this. But this is where we are. It could very well be a special election. You could see Jumaane Williams as the mayor for 60 or 90 days, and there should be a campaign if it comes to that. And I would say I will be in it.
Of course, he wants
to talk to my kids when they come home.
He wants Adams to drop out so he can run. Okay, but Cuomo's coming in. I'm telling you, this is a Cuomo reboot. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the supplements that I offer to help your cardiovascular system. And I have a few supplements that you can get to help with your cardiovascular system. Nattokinase will help to break up clots because it's fibrinolytic, but it also will bring down LDL levels and increase your HDL levels. So it's improving your lipid profile and your cholesterol. All right. So you should be taking nattokinase every day to improve your cardiovascular health. In addition, take olive leaf extract. This is a dual purpose product where it will help with your immune system and your cardiovascular system. How? It brings down inflammation. And by bringing down inflammation, you're helping your immune system so it's not overactive. And by reducing inflammation in your vascular system, you're reducing the chances of building up plaque. In addition, olive leaf extract will bring down LDL levels and increase your HDL levels. So it's helping with your lipid profile, similar to nattokinase. So take these together if you want to stack. They're synergistic. And then omega-3 brings down LDL levels, increases your HDL levels, and prevents your red blood cells from sticking. So if you take these three together, this is a great stack for cardiovascular health. And because of the olive leaf extract, you get an additional help with your immune system. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, get the omega-3, the olive leaf extract, and the nattokinase. They're all great products, very high quality. And that way you're improving your cardiovascular health.
The defense here shaking out for Eric Adams?
Well, we're also expecting in a few moments a press conference at the Southern District where the charges will be laid out in more detail. But at this point, the way that the defense is shaking out is that Adams and his defense attorneys are maintaining his innocence and insinuating that he is being targeted for political reasons and potentially racially motivated reasons. That's something that he has suggested in public appearances and in statements that he has given out in the last 24 hours.
When the Southern District, when those charges will be laid out in more detail, we do have the indictment already unsealed. What kind of details are we expecting? What more will you be looking for?
Well, we're still reading through the indictment. It's incredibly lengthy, 57 pages, and it's detailing a scheme that has taken place over the course of a decade, dating back to when Eric Adams was the Brooklyn Borough President, a position that he served in for 2 terms from 2014 to the time of his election as mayor in 2021. The indictment alleges that he took business class tickets and gifts from the Turkish government and people representing the Turkish government in exchange for providing access and favors, and that he accepted illegal campaign contributions from straw donors and essentially exploited the city's stringent campaign finance system, which is also unusually generous as a public campaign finance system. It's one of the most generous in the country.
Are right, Laura, hang tight with us. Laura Namias is Bloomberg senior reporter covering New York City and state politics. We are going to take you back to the press conference of New York City Mayor Eric Adams, where he has said he looks forward to defending himself. He says, my day-to-day will continue and he will continue to serve as mayor of New York City. Let's listen in to some of the questions being asked of Mayor Eric Adams.
I was elected by the people of the city of 700,000 strong. City that is extremely resilient. This is a city that we have gone through some difficult and hard times, and we're going to continue to move forward as a city. That's what that's shown. I think the narrative here that's missing, 2 months ago when I called for the we have not gone backwards. We have not stood still. We've shown how we operate during difficult times. And you said, who's the 20 person that's going to deal with business community? Deal with the business.
I'm saying he's not stepping down. He's gonna fight it. It's like a comic book. Back in the day.
So we, based on what I read, it's clear that if it's campaign violations, I know I don't violate the campaign. That's right. If there's foreign donors, I know I don't take money from foreign donors. And I verbalize that to the team, both in writing and both in communication. And we will continue to do that. And we look forward for the legal team to handle this as I handle the city of New York, the continued success that we've witnessed in the last 2 years and 9 months as the New York City.
And just to set the scene there, Mayor Adams concluding what I guess we could call a news conference, did take some questions outside of Gracie Mansion, Carl Schurz Park, the Upper East Side of Manhattan here in New York City. Responding to questions about the indictments today and the charges, the federal charges specifically. I'm John Tucker, along with Alex Steele and Jim Grasso, our resident lawyer, has been going over the indictment, trying to catch up on it.
And Miles, don't forget Miles.
And Miles is here as well.
Unless you need to go, which you understand, because you also are managing editor for US.
Let me just plug here. Please boost up your immune system by going to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get lignans. This is a powder that'll help to boost up your immune system. It's also an antioxidant. It'll bring down inflammation and boost up that immune system and help with your endocrine system. We need help boosting up that immune system, boosting up that endocrine system because of the environment that we live in. We have chemicals that get into our water and our food, in our air, and it affects our immune system and endocrine system. So to help with your hormonal health for males and females, and to help with your immune system, take lignans every day. All right. This is very important to take every day to help with your immune system and your hormonal system. All right. Males and females. All right. Most people have problems with their endocrine system and their immune system. Trust me on this. So you need to supplement properly, have proper food that you're intaking, and make sure you filter your water and take lignans every day. In addition, take resveratrol, also an antioxidant, It helps to get rid of senesced cells because with senesced cells, toxins start to build up and you don't want them. So you want to get rid of those senesced cells. It also helps with mitochondrial health. It stacks well with C60 and ubiquinol and NAD plus and NAC. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com and take resveratrol. I've been taking resveratrol for years, actually decades. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. And to bring down inflammation, on top of bringing down inflammation from taking lignans, take ashwagandha. Ashwagandha will help to lower those cortisol levels. It'll help to bring down your glucose levels, right? Because most people in the United States have too high of a glucose level. It'll bring down those cortisol levels. So it will help with the immune system and bring down that inflammatory response. All right. So it stacks well. It's synergistic with turmeric. And turmeric is an antioxidant and it brings down inflammation. So when you take these, you're improving your immune system and your cardiovascular system. And they stack well with the lignans because this is an antioxidant and it brings down inflammation. So please go to my store and get the turmeric and the ashwagandha. All right. I'm telling you great ways to how to improve your health. So please help support my work by going to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com.
They say that Adams also abused the matching funds program that New York has. And under that, because of these false donations, or we'll call them false, but donations that are illegal through straw donors, that he got some $10 million in campaign funds through the New York matching donor.
So many of our grand challenges are scientific ones. And I think that quantum technology presents a real cause for optimism. And today I'm talking to an expert from Nokia Bell Labs to find out what needs to happen to make it a reality.
Are listed in the indictment are between an Adams staffer and a Turkish official, an Adams staffer and a businessman. There's very little of Eric Adams texted this. A few things, but they could also be kind of nebulous. So you can see that as far as that's concerned, his attorneys have something to work with. And
and at the U.S.
DA
Attorney's
Williams
Office
is
in
gonna
Lower
be
Manhattan,
making
on
an
its easel, they've laid out a visual aid, and it is headlined.
Before we do that, before they speak, please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, get the C60. This C60 is a very strong antioxidant and it stacks well with resveratrol and some of the other antioxidants that I have been mentioning today. All right. I have it in coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, and avocado oil. You can get it in a 2 ounce, a 4 ounce, or an 8 ounce configuration. You should take a teaspoon of it a day, every day. Take it on an empty stomach for better absorption. And if you work out, take it before your workout, because when you take it before your workout, they'll soak up those free radicals that are produced while you're working out. So you recover quicker. By taking this every day, you're going to slow down the aging process and help boost up your mitochondrial health and increase the ATP. And that's going to be important for your cells, your tissues, and for your organs. Please go to the store and get C60. It's a very potent antioxidant that stacks well with the other antioxidants that I have on my store. So please go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com.
To disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what.
Let me just wind this
But as
back
we
a little
allege, some of this, and if
Ahead of the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District.
Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, has learned from Preet Bharara, who was the U.S. Attorney.
And here he
Actually,
is.
here he is right now, the man himself, Damian Williams.
My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the United States Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges,
Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal. And even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him. We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities. The mayor had a duty to disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what. But as we allege, year after year after year, he kept the public in the dark. He told the public he received no gifts, even though he was secretly being showered with them. We allege that Adams accepted these benefits knowing that they were given to him because of his position. And in exchange for some of those improper benefits, he intervened in the New York City Fire Department's inspection process for a building owned and operated by the Turkish government, allowing it to open even though it had not passed the fire inspection. The corruption alleged in the indictment is, as I said, long-running. As we allege in the indictment, Adams' solicitation of illegal campaign contributions began in 2018. After he started raising funds for his 2021 mayoral campaign, he agreed to take contributions offered by multiple Turkish businessmen, several of whom he met in Turkey. Adams knew that these wealthy individuals could not legally donate in a US election. Federal law clearly prohibits foreign donations. That's how we protect our elections from foreign influence. Yet Adams directed his staff to pursue this illegal money to support his campaign for mayor. And as we allege, Adams continued to pursue foreign money in secret well into 2021. And it didn't stop with his first campaign for mayor. As we allege, in 2023, the mayor rekindled these corrupt relationships, seeking more illegal campaign contributions from some of the same foreign sources to support his re-election campaign. Adams also took contributions that broke other laws. As we allege, he sought contributions from businessmen far in excess of what the law allowed. He also allegedly sought contributions from corporations, which are not allowed to contribute at all in New York City elections. Many of those illegal corporate contributions were organized by the same people who organized the illegal foreign contributions. And Adams allegedly disguised them all in the same way by accepting the money through so-called straw donors. A straw donor contributes someone else's money, hiding the money's illegal source, such as a foreign businessman, a corporation, or a wealthy New Yorker who has already contributed the maximum amount allowed. And as we allege, Adams circumvented all of these laws, taking contributions from exactly the sources the law prohibits, all to benefit his mayoral campaigns. Now, Adams also personally benefited from the illegal conduct alleged in the indictment. Adams solicited and accepted over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits for years from wealthy Turkish business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. Adams started accepting undisclosed luxury travel benefits at least as early as 2016. He took these benefits nearly every year through 2021. Here are some of the benefits that we uncovered during our investigation. In 2016, Adams flew to India through Turkey and received 2 free round-trip upgrades for business class seats. That's the highest class on Turkey's national airline. Those upgrades were worth more than $12,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2017, Adams accepted free business class tickets for himself and his travel companions to France, Turkey, and China. And he was put up in the Bentley suite in the St. Regis Hotel in Istanbul. All of that was worth more than $41,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. Also in 2017, he flew to China, again, through Turkey, and accepted 2 free business class tickets for himself and a companion. Those were worth more than $16,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2018, he flew to Hungary through Turkey and accepted free upgrades for business class seats. Those were worth more than $12,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2019, he flew to Turkey and accepted a free upgrade to business class for his companion and a free stay in a lavish suite at the St. Regis Hotel in Istanbul. That was worth more than $9,000. And again, none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2021, Adams solicited business class tickets to Istanbul, stays at luxury hotels and resorts, yacht tours, and meals. As we allege, he asked to pay a nominal fee for all of this in order to disguise what we allege were in fact bribes. He canceled that trip at the very last minute, but the benefits that he solicited were worth more than $21,000. And later in 2021, Adams flew to Ghana, again through Turkey, and accepted free business class ticket upgrades and other gifts while he was on a layover in Istanbul. Those benefits were worth more than $12,000. And just like all the other benefits I've just run through, none of it was publicly disclosed. Now, I want to be clear. These upgrades and freebies were not part of some frequent flyer or loyalty program available to the general public. As we allege, this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a single New York City politician on the rise, Eric Adams. Now, this is a chart with all of the undisclosed travel benefits that we uncovered during the investigation. We just listed all out here. You see the year, 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. The destination, India all the way to Ghana. The benefits, the free upgrades or free tickets altogether, the hotel stays, and the value. And if you just sum up all the dollar amounts here, you get to more than $100,000. And of course, as I said before, every single trip that we list here was undisclosed. As we allege in the indictment, in addition to not disclosing these benefits, Adams sometimes created fake paper trails to try to cover up the travel benefits he solicited and received. Let me give you one example.
Why doesn't he
Adams
just
wrote
fly
emails to his
coach?
staff
He doesn't
suggesting
have this
he
problem.
paid for his 2017 business class flights on the Turkish airline when, as we allege, he did not. Those flights were worth a lot of money. Just one ticket alone cost more than $10,000. But months after taking the flights, Adams wrote an email to a staff member and told the staff member that he had left cash in her desk drawer and that she should send the money to the Turkish airline to pay for a trip he had already taken. As the indictment makes clear, that's just a clumsy cover-up. Now, just because Adams received benefits for free, that doesn't mean that there weren't strings attached. As we allege, a particular Turkish government official behind many of the benefits Adams sought and accepted gave Adams all these things to gain influence over him. We allege that Adams knew that and took the benefits anyway. We allege that when the Turkish government official needed him, Adams also took corrupt official action in exchange for some of the luxury travel benefits. In 2021, the Turkish government official was trying to open a brand new high-rise building in Manhattan that would house Turkey's consulate. There was significant time pressure because the Turkish official desperately needed the building to be open in time for a visit from Turkey's president. This building was important to the Turkish official, and it was important to Turkey. But the FDNY's fire safety professionals wouldn't let the building open because the building hadn't passed an inspection. And not just that, some of the people at FDNY thought the building had so many issues and defects that the building was not safe to occupy. So the Turkish official sent word to Adams that it was, quote, his turn, unquote, to support Turkey. And as we allege, Adams delivered and pressured the fire department to let the building open. The FDNY professionals were convinced that they would lose their jobs if they didn't back down. And so they did. They got out of the way and let the building open. The Turkish official got what he wanted. And as we explained in the indictment, just 4 days after Adams held up his end of the bargain, he went right back to soliciting more travel benefits from the Turkish airline. Now, I want to make 3 things crystal clear. First, the conduct alleged in the indictment, the foreign money, the corporate money, the bribery, the years of concealment, is a grave breach of the public's trust. Public office is a privilege. We allege that Mayor Adams abused that privilege and broke the law. Laws that are designed to ensure that officials like him serve the people, not the highest bidder, not a foreign bidder, and certainly not a foreign power. These are bright red lines. And we allege that the mayor crossed them again and again for years. That is the only reason we are here today. Second, this investigation continues. We continue to dig, and we will hold more people accountable. And I encourage anyone with information to come forward and to do so before it is too late. And third, the Southern District of New York remains committed to rooting out corruption without fear or favor and without regard to partisan politics. We are not focused on the right or the left. We are focused only on right and wrong. That is our duty, and we will fulfill it. Now, today's charges are the product of a tremendous partnership. I want to thank our partners at FBI and the New York City.
This is pretty big, and I don't think he's gonna step down. I think he's gonna be pushed out by the governor. I think that's what's gonna happen, and probably within 3 days. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the zeolite. Zeolite is a negatively charged molecule that will bind to toxins, chemicals, and heavy metals, and that are positively charged, and that combination will be excreted out through the urine in about 6 to 8 hours. So what you do is you just take a few drops underneath your tongue, drink it with filtered water. And you can do this on a daily basis because this zeolite you can take year round every day, a couple drops each day. Or you can do what some people do, and that is maybe, take a few drops underneath your tongue and use up the bottle, and maybe do that twice a year. It's up to you, all right? But you do get benefits by detoxifying your body, on a daily basis. So please go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the zeolite. It removes heavy metals. It helps to remove toxins and chemicals from your body, and you excrete it out about 6 to 8 hours through your urine, through urination. So go to the store and get the zeolite to detoxify your body, because we have chemicals in our water and our food. There's chemtrails. So, it's really important to detox. I also have some great products that are relatively new to the store. NAD Plus is a supplement that I've added to my protocol on a daily basis. NAD Plus helps to repair DNA damage. It also boosts up your energy levels, and it is a neuroprotector. It helps with neural health. So you should be taking this to improve your neurons, to increase your energy, and to repair your DNA damage. As we get older, it's harder for us to repair our DNA. NAD Plus is going to be an important supplement that you should be taking to be able to boost the health of each of your cells. Vitamin K2, MK7 helps with bone health and cardiovascular health. You should be taking this every day, and it stacks really well with D3. NAC helps to bring up glutathione levels. Glutathione is a very strong antioxidant. It's synergistic with C60 and NAD+. In addition, it will help to detoxify your liver and your kidney and help with mental health. It'll help to kind of calm down ADHD and anxiety issues. So taking NAC is really important, especially to boost up those glutathione levels, because as we age, we can't soak up those free radicals, and you need to attack those free radicals in different vectors, and this stacks really well with C60. So please take NAC. It also stacks well with NAD+, actually. All right, so please go to my store and get the NAC. Take it every day. Lastly, ubiquinol. This is the active form for CoQ10. I've been taking ubiquinol for a long time, all right? And this will help it's a strong antioxidant. It also helps to boost up energy levels, and it helps with neural health. So it stacks well with the NAD+ and C60 and some of the other supplements. So please go to my store and get the ubiquinol and take it every day. This is important for neural health, really important for neural health. All right. and it's a very good antioxidant, helps to boost up the health of the mitochondria. So go to the store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. I have to close the broadcast. I have to do something here, but please go to my store. It's the-studio-reykjavik.com, and make sure you subscribe to all my channels. I have 4 channels on YouTube. I have Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. All the links are in the description of this video. And please ask your social media to follow me. I need to accrete more followers so I can teach people how to improve their health, explain to them some of the current events and how it may affect them, and how the market and how international affairs is happening and how markets react to some of these events. All right, so that way you're more informed and you can get healthy. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, get the supplements, ask your social media to follow me. And if you would like, you can donate on my website. You can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee, or be a paid member to my Patreon channel. All the links are in the description of this video. So thank you for listening and have a nice day.